Hi everyone, I'm Dwayne Cannon. I'm the Director of Oregon Accessible Recreation. We're here at Singleton Park. We thought it'd be a good idea to put together a short little video explaining what we're doing, what the plans are for the improvements for accessibility at Singleton Park. This is the entrance to Singleton Park. It's a fairly small park. A little bit of trivia. Singleton Park was the very first county park in the state of Oregon. Among other things, it has a rich history. So as we look down into the park itself, you can see the boundary for the park. On the right hand side is the row of trees where the road goes down. On the left hand side of the park, the boundary is the South Umpqua River. And then at the far end of the park is where the North Umpqua River comes in to meet the South Umpqua and makes the main Umpqua. There's three parts of this project that we will talk about and explain a little bit. So the first one that we'll talk about is the upgrades to the restrooms, and we'll go visit that in a minute. The second part is the overview, which overlooks a confluence of the North Umpqua and South Umpqua River. It's a beautiful spot. And then the third phase of the project, on the left-hand side as we're going in, on the South Umpqua River, there is an existing concrete dock. It's been there well over 100 years down in the river. So what we will do there is build a trail, a paved path with handrails down to the dock, and the dock will be completely rebuilt, and that will provide access to the river for people that are having trouble with accessibility. One of the things about the dock, it will provide fishing access, say for people in wheelchairs. So let's move on down into the park, and we'll stop at the restrooms first, and we'll go over that real quick. All right, here we are at the bathrooms, the restrooms. Right now, there's a men's and a women's. What we're going to do is make them both unisex, and that will allow us to do several things. One, we're going to extend this wall out. This part right here will come off on the other side also, and that will give us enough room for wheelchairs to maneuver through here. We'll bring this out, probably extend the roof, and the restrooms will have changing stations in them and a lot of improvements. They're in pretty good shape right now, but they're not fully ADA. We have an estimate from a contractor for all of the changes we need to make this these ADA, and the estimate for doing the work on the restrooms is about $25,000. One of the things we want to do too, an additional feature that we want to install here that'll make it a really large improvement, will be off of the front of this building. We want to build a pavilion and have tables and benches out in, it'll come out here, I don't know, maybe 30 feet or so, with a covering of some kind, so if it's raining, people can get out of the rain and have a place to just sit and relax. One of the other things that we have planned is to include a memorial for women veterans. We think that women veterans need more recognition than they're getting, and that's one of the things that will be the focal point of the pavilion here. We do not have this piece finalized. We don't have an estimate, and we don't know what that memorial will look like, but we are working on that. So it will come out to about here. And what other improvements that that we think will be necessary to make this a nice area. All right, here we are at the end of the park, and what we have The viewpoint is right over there. We'll walk over there in a minute and talk about that. One of the features of this park that make it great for accessibility, there's an existing pavilion here with a fireplace and picnic tables, and it has a ramp on it already. And then the parking lot, you come in from this way, this is a parking area over this way, and then the trail down to the viewpoint is going to go right along through there by that sign. And we'll walk over and talk about that in a minute. But right now, let's walk up and we'll take a look at the pavilion. The trail from the parking lot to the pavilion will pretty much follow the existing trail that is here. And then it comes up this way. This looks like it might be a little bit narrow for our needs, and we might have to address that. I haven't measured this part of it. Then once we're inside the pavilion, it's a nice big area. Like I said, there's a fireplace there. There's outlets here for electricity. There's lighting here. And you've got just a spectacular view of, that's the North Umpqua River off to our right there. That's where it comes in. I don't know if you can hear the sound of the river, but it's just beautiful, very peaceful. And so let's walk on over to the viewpoint and we'll discuss that. All right, so here we are at the overview, the viewpoint, we're calling it. And this is the existing trail going down to the area right now. This will change. The new trail is going to go from over this way. And the new trail will go between these two trees and come down through this area behind this big fir tree. And then it will come out right down in this area. Now, one of the things about this everything here is going to go away. Everything that is existing will go away. These old beams, the picnic table, that railing, this will all be built up. It's got to come up about 2 feet to get this to the grade that we want, which would be the ADA standard. So this area will come back to about right around through here and go over behind that picnic table over to the other railing. That's an old wood railing. That one will also go. And so kind of what we're looking at here, this is the South Umpqua River coming in from this direction. It comes through Roseburg, and then it comes in down here. And then over on this side, we have the North Umpqua River, and it comes in, and they come together right down here at the confluence. And then that, looking down, that is the main Umpqua River. It's a beautiful spot. This will, like I said, this will be built up, and then around the perimeter, around the edge, there will be a really short retaining wall. And then we're going to use steel cabling as a railing system to go around this. And it will also have steel posts with a hard metal rail that goes all the way around, that you can, it'll give you a place to hold on to while you're standing there enjoying the view. And one of the other aspects of this this large tree will come out, which will enhance the view. This tree is pretty much dying off anyways, and so that will expand the view. We'll leave this maple tree. Might have to trim it up a bit. We're going to leave as many trees as we can. Any trees that we do take out, we will replant several times over wherever it seems appropriate. So the railing will go kind of where the existing railing is and around this front area, and it will end, the railing will end over on the other side of that picnic table. One of the other pieces of this that we're going to do, because this will be raised up about 2 feet, that makes this area through here, this trail, that makes this area almost level. And so we are going to make a path. I don't know if it'll be paved or crushed granite or what we're going to do there, but it will go from this area down to that corner of the park and then back up along the fence line back up to the parking area. So it's just one more place for people to have access and enjoy the river. All right, so this is the third part of the project. Like I mentioned, there are 3 parts of it. This is the trail that leads down to the dock, and we'll walk down this way and show you what that looks like. About 30 years ago, I got involved with a group of volunteers, and we built a trail. The new trail will pretty much follow the existing trail, but it will be 6 feet wide. It will have handrails on both sides, all the way down to the dock, and the dock will be fully enclosed with railing. So let's walk over this way, and we'll walk down this trail to give you an idea of what this is going to look like. So as you can see, it just follows the contour of the bank right here. This is 25-year-old asphalt, and the whole bank is starting to slough away. So this will all be 6 feet wide with handrails. This will all be paved. It will either be asphalt or concrete. And it winds its way down through here. It's a beautiful area. It winds its way down here to a fairly large flat area. And so we will have picnic tables and resting benches all through this whole area. And then the trail, which is fairly covered up now, the trail wanders down through here. There's a couple of switchbacks in here. And the end of the trail is right there. And so that will be an enlarged area, and there will be a resting bench right there and an area large enough to get 2 or 3 wheelchairs in there so people can stop there and rest if they'd like. And then it continues around here. We've got a tree that's fallen. There's a lot of storm damage through here. This is a trail, if you look off down that way, that's a trail that leads down to the dock. And there will be on the cut bank right on this side, there will be a retaining wall to hold everything up. And then that trail also, all of this will be 6 feet wide with handrails all the way down to the river. So we're going to find a way to get past this down tree, and then we'll continue on down on the trail and down to the dock, and we'll go over that. Well, as you can see, there's a lot of down trees here, some brush damage. All of this area will be cleaned up. All the dead stuff will be taken out, and this side will be reinforced. We'll put some rock in here to shore all of this up. And we'll continue on down to the dock. So now we're approaching the dock. And so this is a dock area. This dock was built over 100 years ago. I'm not real sure the history of this. This park used to be used as an access point for the river forks. Really, really good fishing right here. And River Forks Park is across the river, across the North Umpqua from here, but it didn't exist back then. And so I believe there was a private residence up here, and I've heard they rented boats and they had a little store. And so I'm not sure the history of this. It's pretty interesting. We're going to find out more about it. Well, what's going to happen here, we have the permits to rebuild this dock from the Army Corps of Engineers and Division of State Lands. They've already looked at this and given it their approval. And also to add riprap in here, large boulders, to keep the erosion down. So all of this will be rebuilt. We cannot make the footprint any larger, but we can rebuild what's here. So this big tree will come off, and this side of the dock will come back to about through here and go to the end and square off. And then it will follow that around. So this will all be one big flat open area. This also will have the handrails, and then the handrail will continue down this side and will continue out all the way around the dock and all the way back to here. It will have cutouts in it to allow people in wheelchairs to fish. There's quite a bit of fishing. A lot of people fish here now, but we want to make it accessible. People in wheelchairs really don't have a good place to fish, especially on the rivers. And there's bass, there's catfish in here, steelhead, all kinds of great things, real fishing opportunity. So this dock, when it's completed, will be about 30 feet by 30 feet, which is a large area. And of course, it'll all be raised up a bit, flattened out. This is a view from the dock. It's very, very peaceful right here. There's a small rapid right there, so you get the sound of the water. A lot of wildlife here. There's otter, there's beaver, a lot of different kinds of birds that make their home in this area. And a lot of fishing is very popular. You can see a fishing boat down there now. Where that boat is sitting, that is where the North Umpqua comes in. And so they're trying to catch fish that are headed up the North Umpqua. But that on downstream is the main Umpqua River. And down on the right, across from that boat, that is the River Forks Park. But this is just a beautiful area. And then this will have benches on the back and on the sides for people just to sit down here and read a book, whatever they want to do, just enjoy being on the river. As I mentioned previously, all of this has been surveyed and engineered, and we have all of the permitting required to do this work. The engineer's estimate that we have for this area is about $185,000. And that is to rebuild the dock, resurface it, all of the railing, and that includes all of the 6-foot wide pathway up to the parking lot and all of the railing.